Interest ya in a pint? Watch your back.
Light be with you. Safe travels.
Oh, we're back. I'm gonna try to do some priest healing, which ought to be interesting because I don't really have gear for doing battlegrounds. I've been saying, I'm almost tempted to buy something like that just to give me some more health, because you know I'm gonna get focused hard. It'll be interesting. No mana. Jeez. Wouldn't it be nice if now in TBC, or I mean, I can't even get everybody their buffs, because normally in like TBC or some of the other versions of WoW, like your mana is unlimited when you're before the BG starts. So but that kind of sucks. That, yeah, kind of sucks. I can't get all the buffs out before I have to buff and then drink, then buff and then drink. It's kind of silly. This ought to be interesting. I've never done a battleground on this character. I have no mana. Alright, so this was actually... that was easy. Oh shit! What the hell? That rogue just got what the fuck owned. I don't have mind control, do I? I think I do. Combat. Try to res this guy. Thought I resed him. Hey Mason, what's up? This is the first battleground I've done on my priest, so this is gonna be really weird. And I'm really rusty on the priest, so it's gonna be probably pretty awful. I really don't want to leave this guy by himself, but I'm the healer. Healer shouldn't be sitting at a node where there's nothing going on. But these guys ran down here without me, and they're just gonna get killed. I mean, seriously, what are they doing? They didn't even wait for their healer, you know, I didn't even have mana. And they're just running off, you know. Again. There's nothing worse than somebody who's like begging for heals. Like, oh my god, we gotta have heals. Scary. That's right. We killed that poor guy. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Is I'm not spec'd. Yeah, he's a total loser. I'm not spec'd for Battlegrounds, so I have like no health pool. So you can see I just got dropped in like a second. I really don't even. I'm not even in the mood to do this, to be honest, on the priest. Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to carry you. Yeah, I'm not really in the mood to do priest PvP. My character is not geared for this. She's got 1500 health. I mean, she's gonna get absolutely destroyed. Really, it's probably one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of healers, a lot of priests in lower level PGs, is because they really don't have. I mean, they're pretty squishy. You have fear, and that's about it. You really need the PvP gear, you know, to like. Which carries with it a lot more stamina, you know. And you'll see here that no, he's immune, of course. Watch how quick they kill me. And you can see I'm just so squishy. Yeah, but he's all like, oh, I'm trying to carry you. We got all these healers. Why aren't they on my hip? I'm like, I'm not gonna follow you around like your little pocket healer. That's like the worst way to get somebody to help you. If you're a DPS, you want a healer to help you, just say, hey, can you maybe go to this node with me? That's the way you approach it. You don't say, hey, I need a pocket healer. This whole BG, I need you on my ass. I'm like, you know what? I'll kick you in the ass. Look at all the horde down here. That's a lot of horde. Is he actually? I don't think he's gonna go in there. I don't think that rogue. Oh, he did. Yeah, that's death. These guys are all dead. They're long dead. They ain't got no chance. You know what I mean? You got no chance. I have no desire to play PvP on my priest. I really don't. I don't think at that bracket without having. It's just not something I want to do. I'd much rather do PvP in level 60.
Here there.
No desire to do PvP on my priest. knows it. I went in there, and once I get crybabies asking me to pocket heroes, I'm like, you know what? Suck it. It's tough. I think I'd do PvP when I got to like 60 or something, when I have a mount and I can actually move around. But crawling around on a priest is just... That's probably why, like I said, it's probably why you don't see a lot of priests in lower level battlegrounds. It's one thing I've noticed running lower level VGs is it's always like warriors and rogues and hunters, and maybe warlocks, but you don't see a lot of healers outside of maybe some druids, but they're usually feral, and so they're only healing when they pop out to help their their teammates. We're going to change this stream to the priest to mucking around. They may be dropping the dragon buff. Check real quick. What have I got here? The Black Knight. Go on.
How are you?
I certainly twinked this character out. Get her to level 15.
Have a good one.
16. Get her to level 16. She's got quite a bit of gear. Get this shield. Standard issue shield, plus 7 stat. Fiery weapon on him. Oh, this low level weapon. Alright, let's do it. I'm waiting to see if they're gonna drop the buff. So we don't know if the head's dropping or not. People are like, maybe they're dropping, maybe they're not. Maybe, maybe not. They're like, where is head? Oh, so there's someone trying to drop it, but he says someone's doing the Oni attunement, so he can't drop it yet. Or he can't do what he needs to do. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a Chrono Boon Displacer because we can hold the buff in there. 11.8 gold is not too bad. They cost 10 gold, so it's only 1.8 gold over the... And I certainly can't take this character all the way to Eastern Plaguelands to... or Western Plaguelands to get it, so... Yeah. So they're gonna drop the dragon buff here pretty shortly. Oh. And then we're just gonna go farm some tunes or something, see if we can get this character up a few levels. I've hit that wall that I always hit where I get burned out on World of Warcraft. You know, I play so much and I'm just like, that burned out. I was looking at that tabletop Steam early access tool, you know, called Tailspire. But I watched some reviews on it, and they say it's so early access, and it's really not that great yet. And if you guys don't know what that is, I'll let you know. So Tailspire is like, it's for making like maps and stuff for like tabletop games. Like if you're gonna play Dungeons & Dragons, you want to be the dungeon master. People can actually have this, you know, this like 3D tool. The problem with it, and there's a couple problems with it. One, everybody in the gaming session has to pay for it, and it's $25. So everybody's got to put out $25, right? And this is what it looks like, right? You can see there's 3 people, I guess, in the gaming session. So I would imagine you'd all have to have... I don't know quite how it works if everybody has to be connected to the session. Like if we'd all have it like this installed on our laptop, for example. Not sure if that's the way it works. I'm doing more research, but it's still like the problem with it is everybody's got to pay for it, and then the tools to build the scenes is still pretty. There aren't that many yet, so you're gonna a lot of the maps and stuff you're gonna make are all gonna look kind of the same because they haven't put enough art assets in it yet. But it is cool. It's a really cool idea. I'm just not sure if it's, you know, it's got potential. It does have potential, but I think it's got a ways to go yet. So let's see. Something I've been kind of keeping my eye on. But I was kind of interested in the Josh Strife Hayes video on, you know, and his videos are always kind of interesting, right? I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this guy. He's okay. He always seems to be kind of like, you know, there's like certain streamers that always are kind of be like, they're kind of on the negative side, or they're always talking about things in slightly negative light. Like they're never saying, hey, this is a great game coming out, play it, like MMO Byte would say. They're always talking about, oh, scam, or I played this game. Oh, this guy actually he says he likes this game. That's interesting. I played the most insane MMO on Steam. What MMO is this? So I don't know what this is. Maybe I'll watch this video later, but normally he's talking kind of negatively about things, you know, how the MMO became less social, which is totally true. But he's got one video talking about why you don't enjoy MMOs anymore, which I totally disagree with his thing. Point.
You were at school.
So what he talks about is he talks why you're not having fun in MMOs anymore. And his whole premise is that when you had fun playing MMOs initially, you were a young kid and you like were in school or something, or you had all this free time. You weren't married, you didn't have kids, and it was a new genre to you. Now the new genre to you is true because when you play an MMO when you play any game that's new to you, a new genre, like the first time you played an FPS game and shot a gun inside an FPS game, you're probably like, wow, this is kind of cool, you know, and that's true. But to say that everybody, you know, and if you go down here, he says like this guy here, I agree with some of what you said, absolutely, but a life without responsibility. So he's talking a lot about the people that when they first played on those, they were kids, or they didn't have responsibilities. Well, that's not true for me. When I first played MMOs, I was like 35 years old. I was married and had a son. So this is 100% does not equal to me, you know. Remember when you had friends? Damn, didn't. And he talks about how like, remember when you had friends and you played MMOs, you know. You can see my comment. Just boom, I completely disagree.
Some would say more real than the games we have today, is quite a popular one. I've read no end of comments from older gamers who like to berate the newer generation for having the audacity to enjoy games like World of Warcraft or RuneScape or The Elder Scrolls because they're just not as good as the old stuff. So let's look at the common arguments for this and then I'll explain my thoughts. There is a belief, among many older MMO gamers especially, that older MMOs such as EverQuest, Tibia, Asheron's Call or Ultima Online were the peak of the genre, the pinnacle of the social online adventure game, and everything that...
I will say that what he's about to say here is kind of true, because he's saying, and first of all, I disagree with what he's saying, because I don't believe that older gamers look at today's MMOs and say, and say these are not as good as the older MMOs because of certain, you know, like, the fact of the matter is, if like Black Desert and let's say EverQuest 2 had the same graphics as Black Desert, and it came out at exactly the same time as Black Desert, I think they would both, you know, because you can't, you know, the graphics are going to make a huge difference. But let's say the graphics are the same, you know, in EverQuest, in the original EverQuest and Black Desert, and they came out at exactly the same time, and the movement in the world was smooth, you know, in EverQuest. The grind nature of EverQuest and the way the game played, meaning that there weren't a lot of quests, there weren't a lot of like hand holding, that is going to draw a specific crowd. Black Desert is more of a PvP based game, right? It has a lot of PvP, it's very PvP focused, but it has a ton of like life skills. It's got a lot of, you know, crafting and a lot of like things you can do around you know, those types of professions, you know, fishing and cooking, and they're very pretty in-depth. You know, there's farming, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with Black Desert, and that's going to draw a certain crowd of people. But I think they're very different games. And to say that, to assume or to say that there's all these older gamers out there, because I'm one of them, that they're all saying that, oh, you know, EverQuest was the pinnacle of MMOs, I'm not really sure that that's true. I think that the biggest reason that people aren't having fun in MMOs anymore is because of the people that play MMOs are not approaching MMOs the way we approached them initially. You know, like when I first played an MMO, we approached it as if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're playing a fantasy open world adventure game, and you're trying to enjoy that. You're not trying to hack it. You're not trying to cheat it. You're not trying to buy gold. You're not trying to get boosts. You're not trying to get a shortcut to the max level. You wanted to get there on your own steam. You wanted to maybe have people help you and group up and do difficult quests or defeat difficult objectives together with other people, but you weren't trying to find a quick, easy way to get stuff done. Most people weren't. You know, I'm sure there's always going to be people that are like that, but most people weren't because it was, and I will say this, it was still fairly a new genre. But you wanted to enjoy the game for what it was. You wanted to experience the difficulties and the challenges the way they were presented to you. You know, you said this is the way the game is. Just like I said, it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons. If I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons and I run up into a kobold, I'm going to attack the kobold and try to kill it. I'm not going to say, hey, you level 60 character, you know, powerful god walking by, can you, you know, smite this kobold down for me, and then I don't have to do anything, and I'll just go pick up the money that's on in his coin purse. You wouldn't do that because it's no fun. Where's the fun in that? The fun of Dungeons and Dragons is in going into an encounter and rolling that dice and not knowing if you're going to hit or if you're going to miss, or if maybe there's another gnoll behind the tree or the other goblin around the corner that you didn't see. You know what I mean? It's the challenge, and it's the unknown, and it's the fantasy, and it's the open world, all that rolled into one, and the community, and working together with other players, and learning about them and their characters, and role playing, having them make their character an alcoholic who likes to go to the bar and get drunk when he's supposed to meet you to help find that, you know, those kids that were kidnapped by the witch and the swamp hag in the marsh, right? So it's all of those things that people initially approached MMOs, I think from that point of view, like it was a story, like it was a world, like you wanted to experience stuff. But now the MMO players don't want to experience the lore. They don't want to experience the story so much. You know, all they care about is getting powerful and just blowing shit up, right? They play it like they're playing an FPS, like they're going to go in there and just shoot everybody's, you know, just get 10 headshots. You know, I'm just going to step into arena, just blow shit up, and I'm going to be a gladiator, or I'm going to do dungeons and have top damage, or I'm going to have more gold than anybody, or I'm going to look cooler than anybody. But they're not really thinking about enjoying the world and the fantasy, the lore, because really an MMO to me, the high fantasy-based MMO, is about that genre, is about that, and the whole genre is the wonderment and the enjoyment of stepping into a world that has nothing to do with planet Earth and enjoying it, right? When we watch Lord of the Rings, the movies, it takes us into the movie. We experience what they're experiencing, and we love it. Like when you're in the theater and you watch the first Lord of the Rings, and they're running across these huge mountainscapes on this big movie screen, right? The theater. I mean, it kind of sucks you in. And that's what an MMO should do. But people aren't playing MMOs that way anymore. So I don't really agree with Josh Strive Hayes saying that people aren't having fun because they're older, because they have more responsibilities, because maybe they have a job or they've got kids and they can't devote time. I completely disagree with that. I mean, that may be the case for some, but to me, it's the fact that the whole genre is being look at a level is being got a level. Thank you. is that people don't approach the game anymore like it really was approached initially. They don't look at an MMO in the way that it was originally created by the game developers. Like when Blizzard made Warcraft 3, they were making a fantasy-themed game. When Blizzard made World of Warcraft, they wanted to make something that was kind of like EverQuest, but not so difficult, not so grindy as EverQuest. That was their goal, and they succeeded, right? And people read the quest, and people enjoyed the quest, and people went to Nomuragen and looked, wow, this is cool. Or people went to Ashara and were amazed at the beauty of the landscape. You know, people walked through Darkshore and were like, oh, this is neat. You know what I mean? People explored the world, but now people don't do any of that anymore. They want to get, and I'm one of them as far as some of the stuff. They want to get the world buff. They want to just shortcut their way to 60. You know, they want to get there as fast as possible so they can get to the end game. And, you know, I do that to some degree, but not always. I love the leveling experience. I enjoy the leveling experience. That's why I did the hardcore leveling series, you know, getting the warrior to 60, because I enjoy the leveling experience very much. Right now, the reason I am trying to get world buffs, oh, and I did get the world buff, by the way, and kind of level up quickly is because Burning Crusade's coming out. It's because I want to get to 60, so, you know, I'm ready for the Burning Crusade. It's not because, you know, if there was no Burning Crusade on the horizon, I would totally not be trying to rush. I would just be chilling. I'd be like, oh, there's no rush. I'm just chilling. I'd still be getting the dragon buff if I can, but if I couldn't, I wouldn't. I'd be fine. I'd just run out. Let's go do some quests or whatever. I'd take the game, play the game like I always do, which is very laid back. You know, very laid back. But so I just think this video is an interesting video, but I don't really agree with him.
came after was rubbish. This is generally argued to have happened because of games becoming easier, travel between places taking less time, and
That is true. Games are a lot easier, and travel time between is a lot faster.
game items being less effort to achieve, or the appearance of guides and walkthroughs trivializing the mechanics of dungeons and bosses. And while there is absolutely a discussion to have on all of those, I don't actually feel that's the most important aspect for why people feel the way they do. Because I don't actually think the mechanical changes within the genre are the biggest factor here. The advancements, the simplification, the changes, while important, they're not the reason you're not having as much fun anymore. I've already made videos discussing fast travel and high graphics and the concept of endgame and how these design decisions can negatively affect gameplay, but even with all that said, I honestly think the single biggest factor in your enjoyment of an MMO is the lifestyle you have outside of the game. Now, if you want to immediately argue back and scream, no, games are getting worse, that's understandable, but please just consider the next 10 minutes. Then if you still disagree after my reasoning, leave a comment below explaining why. I spoke to many people who all argued that modern MMOs were dumbed down and easy and less fun than before, although fun is a subjective thing and almost impossible to define. So I asked them to explain to me their greatest experience or adventure or memory within an MMO, their favourite moment of the genre. And I'd like you to do this now as well. Just think, what was the most fun you ever had within an MMO? If you could go back and relive a moment in your MMO life, what would it be? A snapshot, a specific time period, and more importantly, why? I've asked this question to many people, and the stories I've heard back...
Okay, I can answer that question. If I could go back to any point in my MMO life, what point would I go back to? And it's really easy for me. I mean, I'd go back to day one, World of Warcraft. The reason is not going to be anything at all what he's talking about, like, oh, it's where I was in my life. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with where the internet was. It has to do with the people that played games. But primarily, it has to do with the internet. The biggest problem with MMOs today is that we have the internet. Now, we need the internet to play MMOs, right? We have to have an internet connection. But the problem is now all the information is so readily available on the internet that nobody has to read any quests. Nobody has to really ask for help. All you got to do is pull up YouTube video, maybe pull up a website. And I do it too. But I do it because it's there and because everybody else is doing it. It's like you're almost forced to acquiesce to these things, because if you don't, you fall behind. You fall behind the curve. I don't do it because I want to do it. But if I were to play the game the way I played it in 2004, meaning read the quests, explore the world, and try to find the objectives, I would fall way behind everybody else. You watch the speed levelers level from 0 to 60 in like a couple days. If you tried to play the way you played the game in 2004, it'd take you weeks. It'd take you like 3 weeks to get to 60. And this speed leveler's already leveled up 4 characters to 60 by that time. You know what I mean? So you don't really want to always fall. You just don't want to fall that far behind. But the reason I would want to go back to World of Warcraft when it first came out is because there were no websites that told you how to do stuff. There were no websites that had all the answers. So, exploration and discovery by playing the game is what made it fun. Not knowing what was around the corner. Not knowing if you could kill a mob or not. Not knowing how to train your pet. Not knowing where the profession people were. Not knowing that the Tower of Azora here is where my priest needs to go if she's got enchanting to level up enchanting past a certain skill, or to pick certain recipes up. We didn't know any of that. And it was that discovery and that exploration that made the game fun. And, of course, because we didn't know anything, we would ask other people, hey, do you know where this is? And they'd say, I don't know, but I'm looking for it too. Or they'd say, oh, yeah, I figured that out last week. So it forced you to have to work with other people. But people don't play these, especially WoW, because it's been out so long. Nobody plays WoW like that. Now, if you were to play Shadowlands, when Shadowlands first drops, it's the same thing. Because of the fact that they've had the testing servers, right? They have the testing servers where people are playing the quests. They may not have all the quests, but they're probably going to let you level all the way to like 15 or 20, on the public test realms. So even in a brand new expansion like Shadowlands, people come into it and they already know so much about it. They know about what covenants there are. They know which covenants they want to be. They know which quests they need to do in the beginning. They know what classes they're going to play. They know what talent. You know what I mean? They already know, and and it hasn't even dropped yet. So my biggest complaint about MMOs is that when you come into a new MMO, most people you already know everything. When's the last time you played an MMO and you created a character but you knew nothing? You didn't know what race was the best race. You didn't know what class to play. You didn't know which class was good at DPS. You didn't know what was on the continents. You didn't even know where cities were. You didn't know the name of the cities. You didn't know the quests. You didn't know what quests you had. You had no prior knowledge of the game. You just had to get in there and figure it out. Nobody plays games like that anymore. And to me, that's the biggest detriment, is the internet and the wealth of knowledge that's on the internet that lets people learn about these games before they even step into them. You know, or play the betas, or having way too many betas, way too many alphas that come out and let people experience the game so much that by the time the game actually has its retail launch, right, its actual launch, they've already played the game for a fucking year. And they're almost burned out already, right? They're actually almost burned out before they even stepped into the game. That's why I'm eating a cookie. That's why if I ever made my own MMO, which I've talked about this before, I forgot I had charge. I haven't played my warrior hardly at all. That I spent hours sitting down at a table trying to figure out how can I make it so that people can't find out about the quests and stuff. Like, because as soon as someone does a quest in MMO in today's world, they'll put up a website and it's all up online. Oh, this is how you do this quest, and this is where you go, and blah 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 blah. Right? And how do you prevent that? And it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to come up with mechanics that can prevent that. And one of the mechanics you can come up with is, you know, like if let's say you have a quest where you have to go obtain an item from some guy. Well, you can make the guy's spawn locations random. Maybe he spawns between 1 and 20 different locations. Well, eventually on the internet, you're gonna have one person that's gonna go up and say, "Yeah, I found the guy here," and you go there and he's not there. So you go back to the internet and you keep looking and you say, "Well, I found him over here," and you go there and he's not there. And eventually, after the game's been around long enough, people are gonna say, "Well, here's the 20 different places we found him." The good thing about that is, even if you knew all 20, geez, you know, it's going to take you a while to go to all 20, right? So that's one way you could get around that creating like a guide. I mean, you're going to have quest developers and all that kind of shit, but I would think I would completely prevent add-ons to my MMO. You would have to play the game with what's in the game, right? I would give you like a really nice UI and really nice stuff, but there'd be no quest helper. There wouldn't even be a map, right? Now, there might be a mini-map, but there's not going to be a map. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There is a map, but when you open up the map, all you would see is like where you are, and everything would be it'd be like really basic, you know? It'd be like super basic. Let's see. So, let's say you're in Stormwind, and you walk down a road towards Goldshire. So let's say your character, when you created your character for the first time in the game, he started out in Stormwind. If you went up to the map, all you would see was a little thing that says Stormwind, right? Stormwind. Stormwind, and I'm not going to write it all out because it would take too long, right? Let's just say Stormwind. And you'd see a little dot for Stormwind, and then you'd see like this little path that you walked on. And then the rest of the map would just be nothing. There would be nothing there. So you would actually have to explore the map. And then even if you explored the map, it still would just be vague. Be like landmarks, like, oh, you found something here. Maybe you found something here, and okay, there's a road here, and there's a road here, and maybe this is some forest. And maybe this is just a desert, you know, there's a cactuses, you know. Some little grass right here. That's the worst cactus ever. Okay, but it would be very vague. There'd be no quest helper. There'd be no freaking damage meters. All that stuff I wouldn't allow any of that. All that stuff, in my opinion, ruins MMOs. You know, holding people's hands. You know? But no one's going to make an MMO like that. People are so used to are so used to the way MMOs are today that they cater to the gamers. You know, they don't want to put something out there that's going to piss them off. My MMO would piss people off. They'd be like, "What the hell? There's no damage meter," or "What the hell? I can't find this quest objective." Oh, guess what? You may actually have to play the game. You may actually have to play it. You know, when you played Zork? If you guys ever played Zork, which is a word game, a text game, on way back when, you know, you had to figure stuff out. You had to, you know, or maybe you played Myst, the game Myst, and it was like all challenging, or maybe you played Pitfall or Defender or Joust or any number of games. Nobody told you how to play them. Maybe your friend played them, but you had to play it. To get good at it, you had to play it. The problem with MMOs is you could actually come into an MMO that's only been out for a week, and there's already guides all over the web that tell you what spec to use, what opener to use, what combat sequence to use, what stats to use, what gear to use, and where to get it. Which quest mob drops what. The game's only been out for a week, and there's no guesswork. And to me, that's just completely not the way the game should be. Ah, warrior! I'm not gonna lie, I did miss playing the warrior. Yeah, there's no, the meta and all that crap. Fuck that. I mean, of course there's gonna be stuff, you know?
How generous.
Did you see that person complimented by my name earlier? That was pretty cool. It's kind of an odd name, Shady Peasant. I'm just a shady peasant. I couldn't think of another. But anyways. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get a game the way I would make it. I just think most of the gaming companies are catering to the almighty dollar. You know, they're just trying to get money, you know. And I take all these guys out, let's do it. I don't know if you just needed that or what. He just needed the collector. Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna have a game that's the way I would want to play it. You know, like I said, my MMO would be incredibly difficult. It would be everything would be very secretive. Like, it would be so secretive that when you played my MMO, and I've already got the name for my MMO, it's called The World of Oslar, and when you played my MMO, like, all you would be presented with, and I wouldn't have any, like, I would have betas, I would have alphas and stuff, but I would have it for people I know in the gaming industry, or people I know, friends, who, am I really a skinner too? Wow, I am. I'm a skinner and an herbalist. I would have people I know that I knew could keep their mouths quiet, or they wouldn't tell people stuff, you know what I mean? And they could play it for me and tell me if it's good. So I had friends that could help me test it. Woohoo! Level 12! Look at her roll! And but the cool thing is, what I would do on my MMO is, get this. Think about this. You have a game called The World of Oslar, right? You know it's a high fantasy MMO. But that's all you know. All you know is the races. You know that there's races in the game. You know that there's, you know, your typical high fantasy. But I wouldn't give much information about it. I might give the world a little bit of a backdrop, a little bit of a setting about the world itself. Maybe some lore about the world.
For the Alliance.
What do I... Okay. But I wouldn't tell you... I wouldn't give you, like, the professions in the game. You wouldn't know what the professions were. Like, you'd have to figure that out by playing the game. I wouldn't tell you what the classes really specialized in. I would just give you, like, a basic I'd give you some basic information about the class. And I wouldn't tell you much about the races. Like, there'd be no information about what... Well, you wouldn't, like, go into a race and say, oh, I want to be this race. And it would say, oh, this race has this racial bonus and this... I wouldn't tell you any of that. I wouldn't tell you any of that. So, you would have... Let's see... I don't think I have... Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Sorry. So you would go into the game, you'd have races, right? And this is my first race the screen. And you would log into the game and you'd look at the screen, it'd just say, "Oh, a race that lives in the plains of, you know, Farlow." Okay? And it might say, you know, known for their love of, I don't know, known for their love of the hills, of the rolling hills, and their primary trade is leather, right? Is leather and leatherworking items. That would be all you'd see about that race. You wouldn't have any idea, like, if they were tall, if they were short. I mean, once you went into the character creator, you might, you know, you could get an idea, but I wouldn't compare them versus the others. I wouldn't say like, well, this character's 7 foot tall. You just get an idea. Like maybe I might say like something like fairly, you know, short or fairly tall. I might mention that, but this is all I would say. And then the other races would be similar to that. It'd say this race, maybe they live here, and they're known for their primary trade, or, you know, maybe this or that. You know what I mean? It would be very vague. And there'd be nothing about professions. There'd be nothing about abilities. I wouldn't even mention anything. I wouldn't say anything about, well, this race could be a warrior or this race could be a magic user. I wouldn't mention that either. You know, because the way I would set it up is any race could learn any art, right? So any race could be good with a sword. Any race could be good with a staff. You know, it's just a matter of using it. It's a matter of maybe finding somebody, a trainer in the game, who can actually send you on quests. And when you accomplish those quests, the quests force you to use skills that would let you learn. Like maybe on the quest you have to fight through some pygmy warriors. I don't know. You fight through something, and all you have to fight them with is a staff. You know, so you learn how to use a staff. You know, you'd come up with something, but there's no hand holding, but it's all a mystery. And how much fun would that be? How much fun would that game be when you're like, everything's unknown? That's what's missing in MMOs, is the unknown. You know, that to me is the number one. The community, yes, but the community is an afterthought. The community is an effect or a result of needing someone's help, right? Like if you need someone's help, you're going to ask. Like if you don't know anything about something, you might ask somebody else in the game, say, hey, do you know how to get here? Know how to get there? You know, there's so many ways to force people to interact. You know, one thing you notice in brand new MMOs, like the first time you see when you walk into a brand new MMO, is everybody's so nice to you, right? Everybody's nice the first week of an MMO. Everybody is. Why are they nice? It's because they don't know everything there is to know about the game.
Need help?
So they're asking people to help them because they want to know. You know?
Farewell.
Anyways, I'll get off my high horse. Yeah, the people that are making MMOs today have it all wrong. In my opinion, they have it all wrong. Their approach to the game, I don't like the whole like being open with the community and telling everybody everything about the game. I don't like that.
Go with honor, friend.
Yeah. But yeah, when Josh Trifea says, you know, where I would go back to this before, just because we didn't have that information. Like everything wasn't so readily available. It was when you played the game, you didn't know. How many people played Hunters and didn't even know that you could train, that your pets could be trained, or how to train your pet? Most Hunters, I'm not even lying here, most Hunters didn't even know. I mean, they didn't. You know, and a lot of people that played WoW, it was their first MMO. For me, it was not. My first MMO was Lineage 2. But for a lot of people, it was the first MMO, so they didn't really understand the mechanics, which is a good thing. You know, not knowing stuff is good, because it's that feeling of the unknown. It's the excitement of figuring things out. Everybody loves to figure things out, right? It's always fun to figure stuff out. Yeah, if I could, I mean, I would love to turn back the clock. I mean, as I get older, you know, the years get shittier and shittier. I mean, the United States is going. I mean, I don't even want to. We don't really want to get into that conversation, but the U.S. is going down the tubes. I mean, pretty soon China's going to be the #1 world power, and I'm not sure if we really want that to be the case. But I don't think there's much we can do about it. A Birdman. Hey, what's up, Dan? I haven't seen you in a while. Birdman race. I like that. Hey, Dan, I like that. I like the Birdman race. And that's, you know, even if I never get my game made, you know, and I'm not saying I won't, but I mean, I would love to at least create all the characters in the lore and create all the cities and, you know, get all that created, because that doesn't take any coding. You know, I'm a programmer, but that doesn't take any, that just takes sitting down and figuring it all out, you know what I mean? But the Birdman race is cool. I just haven't put time into it. You know, between work and being married and playing games, it's just been tough. The thing is, and I talk to my coworker about it all the time, is I write code for a living, for a job. So a lot of times the last thing you want to do when you get home is to keep writing code. You know what I mean? Yeah, I am still theorizing, but I need to put aside time, Mason, to actually sit down and write up the lore and write up all the stuff, the information, the character, the cities, and, you know, the economy, and basically flesh out all the systems. Oh yeah, hey Dan, that was when we were looking at, I was talking about how bad MMOs are at creating like new races, like they're always the same ones, which is, there's a reason for that, because people do like those, but I was saying it would be very easy to create like new and interesting races, you know, it wouldn't be hard. And so I showed you a bird race from probably the Fiendfolio, Dungeons & Dragons Fiendfolio book. Yeah, they need to do something. Stop adding. They've gotten really lazy. Like WoW's gotten like super lazy, and they, instead of like even creating new races, they just reskin existing ones. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna make the Dark Iron Dwarves or something, which is just kind of a reskin, really. Well, I think, yeah. I think, some of the private servers, like what they do is you just, you know, you create, you have to have a cash shop where you know, give out like maybe custom tabards or, you know, just cosmetic gear. That's the way to make it viable, is you have to have a cash shop with cosmetics. Warrior's boots. What do I have? Man, those are way better than mine. And these aren't even enchanted. What? Are these like tradable? I think they are, right? Ooh yeah. We're gonna enchant those bad boys. Volume's too loud. I don't like this loud clunk thunk all the time. Gives me a headache. Turn the volume down a little bit. I wonder if I could... If I should just enchant... I wonder if I just should enchant my warrior with all agility. Just go for, like, crit rating. Right now I'm at 8.92. I could do that. I could just go with straight up, like, all agility enchants. You know, like, I got 5, strength plus 5, but I could do, like, agility plus 7 and really twink this guy out. Ooh, here we go. Here we go! As far as TBC coming, we don't really know for sure. I mean, it's supposed to be within the next couple months. I mean, we have the pre-patch, and the pre-patch, when it comes out, is probably going to be out for at least a month or even 2 months before they release the actual TBC. So, I think it's going to be... I think the pre-patch is probably going to come out in about... I would say probably about a month or 2 from now. So yeah, I think TBC is not going to be out for... I don't think it's going to come out as early as people think. I think it's still a good... I think it's a good 3 to 4 months away, but that's what I think. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I originally thought it was going to be out a little sooner, but just judging by the feedback from all the people playing the beta, there's a lot of stuff that's not right yet on the beta client. So, you know, they're not going to release it until they get all those things fixed. I hope they don't. You know what I mean? So, just judging by that, it's not ready yet. And if they want to have the pre-patch last for at least a month, then I think we're looking at least 3 months, at a very minimum, 3 months from now. They may only do the pre-patch for 2 weeks or something before they release, though. It's hard to say. Oh boy, here we go. Let's go! What? Another one? No! The Murlocs just keep coming. This peasant girl from the streets of Stormwind is trying to make a name for herself here, guys. I'm gonna have to probably take a break for just... I needed to do the litter, guys, and just put it out in the trash, because the trash pickup... We have, like, trash that, you know, valet trash. And they're gonna swing by within the next, you know, like, hour, so I'm gonna have to go scoop the litter, throw it in the trash, put that out front. I'll do that in a couple minutes. I'll be gone for like 10-15 minutes tops. Takes me a few minutes to scoop it and clean it and all that. I got 3 cats, so when I scoop the litter, I gotta scoop it and clean it and refresh it with new litter. I do it pretty much every day. You can't. With 3 cats and they share the same litter box, you cannot. You have to do it every day. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do that. I think what we're gonna do with the warrior is... I mean, I had Fury before, right? Remember we leveled my hardcore warrior? It was Fury, dual wield, and we're gonna pretty much do the same thing, I think. But I'm gonna try doing a lot of enchantments. A lot of agility enchants. Let's see if we can just push my crit way up. Actually, I've got all the Murloc fins, don't I? I just keep killing. I don't need to kill anymore. We've got all the fins. Let's see, level 13. So, I think at level 13 we've got chest piece, which is not enchanted, by the way. Again, we're gonna have to enchant that. You brother to work on helping your brother with repairs. Oh, I got you. Well, that's cool. But you're helping him out. You gotta go, man. Yeah, good to see you, Dan. I've seen you all. Peace out, man. Have a good one. Get some rest, dude. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad you swung by. Oh, you wolves. Why not have sticky targeting on? Because a lot of times I'm losing. I do have it on. It just feels like I deselect targets a lot. Doesn't feel like sticky targeting is working quite right. I wish we didn't have to right click on the screen to rotate. It's like the dumbest thing. One of the biggest improvements they could do to World of Warcraft is get rid of this. Get rid of this stupid click in to move. It should just be that's turned on all the time. So when you move your mouse, you know, your character moves. You shouldn't ever have to click on the screen. That's just stupid. It's like so old school. That needs to go away. And I can't understand why that's so difficult for them to do. And you should be able to just turn it on. Like Guild Wars 2 has it. They have the action cam or the what do they call it? Like I can't remember what they call it, but I mean I play my Hunter in Guild Wars 2 and I have a keybind for it. I hit Control middle mouse click and I can switch between doing this or having it turned on all the time. You know, and other games have it too. They just have like alt keys, like Black Desert and other games. It's just you're always in that action cam mode where, and then to get out of it, you usually hit the alt key or the control key. Usually the alt key. A lot of MMOs are like that, so that would be a big improvement if they could do that for a while. It'd be a huge improvement, especially for Arena. Clicking on the screen is just really cumbersome and annoying. I'm just killing these guys to level up my skinning a little bit and get some experience. Oop. I forgot about that quest over there. Ah.
Well met. Be careful.
So yeah, we can enchant these boots with agility. We can enchant the gloves with agility. What else can we do to kind of? We can't do agility on the brace. We can do agility on the cloak, and we can do like maybe +2 all stats to my chest piece. A lot of herbs over here. Oh, skinning, that's right. Skinning and herbalism. Maybe I should be I don't know. Maybe I could pick up alchemy on this character. Warrior. Probably should just go ahead and be engineer. Engineer blacksmith.
Greetings. For the Alliance.
I supply only the finest goods. Safe travels.
What can I do for you? Light bless you.
Can I help you? Be careful.
Alright guys, I am gonna take a break because I gotta do some stuff. I gotta do some chores around the house real quick. And then I'll come back and I'll come back pretty soon. I'm gonna come back pretty quick, like within like 30-40 minutes. Oh, I gotta do the litter, and I gotta put the garbage out, and then I've got to maybe get something to eat because I haven't eaten today, other than some cookies. I think I ate an apple fritter, 2 cookies. I just ate junk. That was it. Like an apple fritter and 2 cookies. I think that's all I've eaten today. I've been kind of waiting, you know, gonna maybe make some lasagna. My wife was. But yeah, when I come back, I'm gonna twink this character like hardcore. We're gonna get her some good enchantments. Twink her out. Who's the oh? I want to look at the guild tabard. I'd love to make this guild tabard blood red. Who's the guild leader? I think it's my rogue, right? Let's log the rogue real quick. I'm curious what a blood red tabard would look like. I like black though. Black's cool. But it's my guild. I can change the tabard whenever I want. I don't even know if Ken's... The only character he has in the guild is... Oh, he does have his paladin, so he played within the last 37 hours. Oh, nice. Yeah, so Seneva, so... I thought he was going to level the other one. I thought he was going to level the other, his other paladin. It was a lower level. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with it. Hi. Oh, you taking it? What you doing? Oh. Okay. How are you? Yeah, I want to look real quick and see what the guild tab would look like in a blood red. Oof, not too good. Yeah, it looks like crap. They don't really have like that's the darkest red. Then you have to go almost with like a gold. I think the gold is always the best color. See, then you go with something like that. Let me see if Ken, he's watching the stream. This actually is not bad looking, but I kind of like the black better. The gold and red's kind of nice. Hey, what's up, Luna? The gold and red is cool, but the black is cool too. Let's see if we go with black. The blue. Kind of interesting. I've almost gone with the green. Yeah, the black's the coolest. Hey Ken, what do you think of the green? I still think that having the skull show out more is kind of cool, but you know, the black on black is always a nice look. I don't like the white. Definitely don't like the white. Yeah, we'll leave it alone for now.
Go with honor,
I think black on black is the coolest. I really do. Alright, I am going to take a break, guys. Sorry, I know I just started, but I got to do I got some chores I want to get done real quick, the litter and the garbage. But I'll be back in about 20 or 30 minutes. I'll be back, and then we're going to continue leveling the warrior. So look for me to jump back on the warrior. And I'll see you guys then. I'll see you, Ken. I'll be back pretty soon.